This is the Long War. I'm Rob Bear, and joining me once again are my partners in crime, Kenny Boucher and Stephen Four. What's up, guys?
Yo, dog, how's it going?
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Chilling, chilling. It's hot out there, man. It's summer. Everybody's on vacation. What have you guys been doing?
Yo, kicking it. Spent a lot of time with the family. Actually got a really good quality game in with Lucas today. So got some get some ATC prep happening. So actually got some cool rules questions and see what you guys think. I wish I was doing what Kenny's doing right now, getting his Toby on.
Oh man, haven't drank since July 4th. I've been having to replace my drinking vice with all manner of vices. That includes smoking and eating a lot of jelly donuts.
Oh my goodness!
I wish I could smoke a jelly donut. But yeah, how about you, Rob? What you been up to, homie?
I've just been just writing articles. I just finished up a commission. You can probably see some drop pods back there for Thomas Bird down in Atlanta. Got some drop pods for him. So just been kicking it, getting ready to scoop you guys up. And we're going down to ATCs this weekend, so that ought to be pretty fun.
Oh my God, I literally forgot about that. That's a huge thing. We should talk about that.
Yeah, I'm looking so forward to it. I got some, like I said, Luke and I have been in the Beats Laboratory heavy. Check it out on the Long War Facebook page, and man, Nid's looking fresh. Sky Shield's looking fresh. I'm so pumped for it.
Oh, I saw that.
I guess we should announce. I guess you're back in. Recent events have allowed Juice to come back onto the team.
Yep. Actually, I had one of the major vacations with my family and my dad kind of fell through at the last second. So I got the green light and was able to jump back on the team. Thank you to Joe, who was kindly enough immediately was just like, yo, it's not a big deal. Come on back. So that was amazing. So I'm excited to be playing and seeing everybody.
Yeah, it's super exciting. I'm not on a team this year, but I will be.
Are you shouting out Josh Ginn, perhaps?
Excuse me, I'm sorry, Josh Ginn.
Oh, Josh.
I've been drinking and I got steak coming out of my pores right now. Is that
You got the itis?
Yes.
We only get that in the South.
Yeah, that's only a Southern thing.
Well, no, I got it when I was in California or in Colorado 2 years ago. So does that count?
It does.
You're a son of the South. It follows you.
Yeah, it does. It's in your blood. Can't get rid of it.
That's right. So yeah, so Robbie B, like you were saying, you are not going to be playing this year, but you're going to be walking around being the host with the most.
Yeah, stuff happened, whatever. We just bailed out, and then you guys got back on the team, and that's fine. And I don't mind just helping the event right now, because honestly, I was gonna play Dark Angels, and then they switched it up on me, and I was just like, man, I got so much going. That was that same week the server went down, and I was trying to fix things. I was like, man, I don't have time to worry about 40K. I ain't got time to bleed.
Yeah, I don't even think I've seen you play. I mean, like it's just so hard, with it's like the whole, we talk about with bringing hobby back. Like at my end as a painter. Like, I can take money in, and I can paint you an army, right? That is only affecting the hobby one person at a time. The inevitable place for someone like myself to go is like where we're at right now. Like, I paint something for thousands of people to see. And that is how you bring hobby back. And, like, that's inevitably where Rob is going. It's like, you know what? He doesn't always have time to play these games, to go out there and play the tournament. But what he does have time to do is he has time to bring all that information to everybody. And that's like, my hat's off to Rob Bear, because Rob Bear is one of the original community leaders of Warhammer 40K. He's bringing it in. He's got the reporting on the scene, and now he's finally stepping up as a true community leader. And he's just showing up to help, to volunteer, to put a shirt on that says he's a staff member, walk around with a book, and help people figure out how to get their game on. And that's huge, man. Rob, thank you.
That's huge.
No problem, guys. I don't
BG. Didn't get that for nowhere.
And it's been cool, doing the blogging and stuff more often, keeping up with things, finding all these rules conundrums, and some stuff that Games Workshop maybe needs to address, needs to FAQ, needs to kind of lock down, because a lot of times I feel like maybe the translation or the writing kind of gets a little jumbled with some of this stuff, and I think that's actually maybe something we should talk about on the show tonight, is maybe the top 5 things that maybe Games Workshop's
especially
really
going into a major event that has their own FAQ. Right. We should really talk about it, like what we'd like to see FAQ'd. You know what I mean?
Without a
Yeah,
doubt.
and that's something that I definitely want to talk about after the ATCs is kind of, because I am going to be on the floor of a major event, a 250-person event, that I'll have that firsthand knowledge of the stuff that comes up and the confusion and things
Oh my
like
God,
that.
that's a great point.
So I
Reporter on
definitely
the
want to.
scene.
Yeah, it's like literally on the pulse of the gaming scene, which is great. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. So I think maybe we should talk about a little bit about that tonight. Because obviously there isn't a whole lot of 40K stuff coming out, and the meta is pretty much kind of set right now because we haven't seen anything in like what 3-4 weeks, right?
Yeah, no, and to be honest, I'm happy. We haven't seen too many releases. But before we get too much further, I want to do the shout-outs for everybody. And remember, everybody, make sure that if you are here and watching us, let us know so we can shout you out. Evan is checking in, bringing hobby back, painting some Blood Angels for Adepticon next year. Yo, cannot wait to see those. We all love Blood Angels. Brian Scott, what's going on, man? Thanks for checking in. Lamont, tell me what Blood Angels you're working on. We know it's something. Did you get those tag squads put together and painted and everything? Sean Brown, CEO of BTTQ. Hello, gamers. Just finished painting the last 2 models to complete my ITC list for the Iron Halo GT this weekend. Sean, what are you playing, dog? I know it's at, is it the Adeptus Mechanicus or what is the other one? The Scutari. I think that's the one you remember saying shouting us out before. So let us know what your list is. Black Tower Terrain. Hello, fellas. Another great show. We're looking forward to it. And our man, everybody's man, Steve Bruley.
Steve Bruley. What's up? What's up, guys? Welcome, everybody.
It's funny you mentioned the Scutari Nicole Mechanicus. I kind of wanted to talk to Rob about that after he just said, the meta stabilizing and all that whatnot. It's true, and something that got massively overlooked was the Scutari Nicole Mechanicus. Something that didn't get to come to the surface until it stabilized.
We didn't get to talk. We kind of talked last week a little bit about the convocation because it did so well at the Bay Area Open, I feel like, and we've seen all these different metas for it, out there, and I know we're going to see a lot of it at ATCs. Like I've already talked to a couple of people that are bringing it. What they got going on.
And we just came back from the 1776 tournament for Fight for Mike Foundation for obviously Juice's father down in Aberdeen, Southern Pines area. Mm-hmm. And there was a bunch of people out there repping the War Convocation.
A bunch. Famous quote from the weekend for me. Big Dean, Salahuddin. I was playing him in the second round. Had my Hierophant. He was doing all this. I failed a bunch of 2-up saves. But anyway, we're going. He's like, I was like, so what do you shoot me with now? Some upgrade banner that this. He's like, nobody's really going to take it. So I was like, how much did you pay for it? Oh, it's free. Everybody's going to be taking it, dog. What are you talking about?
I saw his list, and I was like, oh. I looked at it. He was playing Kenny first round, and I kind of looked at it and looked all hodgepodgey, and I was like, oh, wait a minute. I know what that is.
You're like, this is a War Convocation. We were just talking about this.
The original Marshall was in full effect, and he had the War Convocation. Now, Lucas did not, but he was running, was it 5 or 6 squads of Cadillac destroyers? It was like some 100 grab shots turn 1 with an assassin and some.
Yeah, I think it's 1776. He was running like almost 100. Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, and I like Lucas Sutherland's list. Like he's always outside of the box. He's always just a little bit to the left of the meta, I feel like, and he's always got some really good ideas. I like his homebrews. I really do. He's got some solid stuff. Scott Schweitzer, he had some really interesting stuff too, and he already sent me his list. I'm actually DJing a tournament in Fayetteville, North Carolina on the 8th of August at Hobbytown, USA. And he already sent me his list. He's like, here's my list. Because I was like, get him in early so I can check them. Because there's so much crazy stuff out there, and it's a 3-source thing. So, I want to make sure I have enough time to do my homework on everybody's list. And he already sent it in. And I already know what he's playing. And, it's AdMech. It's War Convocation, basically. So.
Yo, man, it's so interesting, man. Like those silly little Skatara units with like a billion string 7 AP2 shots.
Yo, let me just tell you something about these Katara units like that Dean was pulling out on me. I was like, what does that unit do? I was like, I'm just sitting there looking at it because, and I've seen them in the pictures. I've kind of poo-pooed them away and this and
Yeah,
this.
because we
and that.
don't know what they do.
Yeah, I was like, man, these guys are chumps, man. They're toughness 3, whatever. Well, before I could really get nuts deep into them with all my shooting and everything, I'm having to worry about all these other vehicles that are shooting me. I'm like, I know what that is. I'm gonna kill it real quick.
You know, that's a Skyfire thing.
Yeah, I was like, word,
Yeah.
I'm doing that. That's got grab. Well, next thing I know, round 3 is up, and I'm like, he just like came up so strong on me. It was like, this unit you got close to minus weapon skill, blitz skill with this. This unit you're within this many inches. I'm gonna do this, and I was like, oh my god, it's a lot of. Now I will say this is not an army for a noob. This is not an army for somebody.
No, and Dean came out there. Dean had his flashcards.
Yes.
He had his card, all the canonical cards. The flag was flipping to keep track of them, and he did his homework. We're talking about like Remember when you go to school, they used to tell you write the sentence out like 100 times? He did that. Like he literally was like
multiple times, because let me just tell you, as being a tournament player, if I hear something, I don't even need to know the rule, and I can figure it out in my mind if it's true or not. So I'll immediately, before I even know it, I'll just like, that doesn't sound right. Let's just look at it, and they'll be like, oh yeah, you're right. It's really this. You know, I've learned that little trick. Well, let me just tell you what. I did that to Dean a couple times because I had no idea, and I wasn't trying to catch him, but it just didn't sound right to me. He's like, it is called this, the Pythagorean theorem, and it's this, and this, and it does this. And I was like, oh, man, Dean, you're on your shit. Like, you were the man. Got it. Thank you.
You know, and it's there's a lot of layers in that war convocation. Like with the Skatari, you know, you like you found out, you can plus or minus weapon skill, you can plus or minus ballistic skill, and the plus or minus weapon skill, I feel like, is super dirty, because what you can do is, if you want this unit to get scooped up and just die, you can be like, oh, -1 weapon skill to them. Whatever, no big deal, because then they're probably getting a wipe. But if you want them to try to hold, maybe there's some ways that you can bump their weapon skill to where you have to hit them on 5s, and they might hold a little bit longer, even though they're a little squishy. But there's some super finite tech you can do with these guys.
I love. That's a great point. I do that exact same thing with paroxysm with my NIDs. It's like, some people are like, oh, look at the crappy psychic powers and stuff. But hey, you know what? They're definitely a facilitator the rest of the army. I can just lock somebody down, hit them with a paroxysm, and now 20 Termagants, you ain't going nowhere. You know, when you're hitting Termagants out of 5s or this
or
and
the
this.
Chitauri can do the reverse when you don't want to bounce out of combat.
Yeah.
You make yourself shitty.
Yep.
So you don't.
Exactly. You're like, I don't get any attacks. I do double this, you know, so it's really fresh. So big shout out before I go further too. Clay Cruz came down and spent the weekend here. Drove like, I think it's like 15 hours to get here. Just those are cat hours.
And cat hours.
Yep. But so Clay came and kicked it at my beach laboratory here on the golf course. So it was good having him down. Please, everybody, if you're a fan, everything else, man, you are always welcome. We will do it up. And Sean Brown has immediately answered our question about what he's playing. Obviously, it's war convocation. He said in his list he has 556 free points.
That's
I heard when
so
you
good.
bring I heard when you bring 33% more.
Oh man, it's just like that Gladiator Strike Force. You get about the same amount of points at 1850 from the Gladiator Strike Force.
Dude, it is very strong, and it really levels. It's a leveler. It is what it is. You know, for the average player to the experienced player, it really is a leveler. It's almost like a free handicap.
So I would like to. I'm so glad you said that. So with that being said, is that any worse or better or anything than, for example, Eldar? Because remember how all the twin link they had, all this and that, it was in their point cost. Is that aren't we talking about basically the same thing here? You know, like you're getting free points, you're getting, you know, even though the points on our line said the same and there's nothing free, but as much twin link, as much ignore cover.
No, and that's what I'm always talking about. That's called the spicy rules. Like that's what I'm really disappointed in with like the Chaos, the new Chaos Knight Titan, that Kaitan. Like that's exactly what I'm talking about, Juice. It's like the unofficially free points. Like Eldar has the entire codex is full.
Yeah, I feel like Eldar, and I said before, I apologize. You're right, Kenny. Like Eldar still right now has free points.
Yeah, it's full.
A Wraith Knight, if you take a Wraith Knight, it's 75 points free.
Yeah,
you know, like 120 free.
Easily, man. It's like, and that's what we saw. Annihilation barges were buy one get one free back in the day, like we used to say. Like, and that's what I'm always talking about with this chaos stuff. It's like, no, man, like. I'm not happy with the 550-point price tag of this new Chaos Kaitan, like Kaitan or whatever it's called, because it doesn't reflect any of those spicy free points. They need to give you, like, the whole reason of Codex is spicy is because you have something like that in it. Right now,
Right.
like the Chaoses have none of that. They don't flex any of that free muscle. We have a 125 point Maulafine, which is a good buy, but it's still an armor 12 vehicle. Like it only has 3 hull points. It's not a gargantuan creature that's old. That's less than double the points or whatever. We're talking.
How many heart attacks or bourbons would you drink right now to make the Mauler Fiend 6 wounds, toughness 7, or 6 wounds, toughness 6?
Literally, it may change my life.
I mean it's true. Coming off the wire, OBJ Tim. So Tim is a great guy. He was here in Aberdeen this past weekend, and he was really heavily involved with the auction. Furthermore, I just want to give a shout out to everybody who showed up. Yeah, everybody who showed up for the event this past weekend is touching to my heart. Like my mom and dad were crying on the phone. Couldn't believe that something that I've been doing since I was 12 years old is some stupid little game that I just threw around and did all this is transformed into what everything that we have going on right now. And we did this event, and the fundraiser raised like $928. And we had, no lie, I think only had like 11, 12 people show up. It was really small, but everybody was from out of town. Stuff happens, people are on vacation. I had a lot of shout outs of people wanting to be there. But, come auction time, there must have been another 20 people walk into the room, that had been hanging out, that didn't necessarily play, but they wanted to be there. And the community came together, and our auction raised alone $746, if I'm not mistaken, with just models that people have donated, that people have done this and this. So, I mean, everybody in your area, believe me, people will come together. They will do it. So if there's somebody in need, if there's somebody let us know. We will help donate. We'll do whatever needs to be done. So big shout out and big thank you to everybody. But back to Tim's Q&A via my cell phone. He said he's chilling at the house watching things on YouTube. He wasn't able to get in live tonight, but is working on one of the prizes that Tim won and bought was a Space Hulk OG.
Oh, he got that one.
Yep, so he ended up getting it. So he's putting all the models together now, and he's going to, in tribute to me, he is painting all the NIDs, High Fleet Lexus style. So, and I'm pumped, really honored. So, also we've got some new people onto the show tonight. Famous Amos, haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you back. Yeah, Rusty checking in. What's happening? Amos is saying he's almost done assembling the Wind Rider host. And which one again is that, Robbie B?
That's the Eldar Dakirian.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's the.
Yeah.
That seems like it's clutch.
It's pretty solid. It's funny because everybody's talking about, Kenny's talking about the spiciness of the Eldar and things, and I think they didn't get free stuff, but they definitely got. Yeah, they didn't have to pay.
No, like
as
I
much
said, unofficially
free.
Unofficially free.
Unofficial. It's like air quotes.
GW definitely has a spreadsheet, right, of what things cost. We talked about it. Like toughness 4 baseline, we'll call it okay, 1 wound starts at 5 points, right? Or something like that. And then you must subtract points if it's below toughness 3 and add points if it's above toughness 4, right?
Yeah, and it's you
armor save.
Start with armor save.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden you have a 14-point Space Marine. It's your baseline. So we know that 1 wound at toughness 4 with ballistic skill 4 with an AP5 weapon is 6. It's 14. They have a spreadsheet, and then they say, okay, now if you buy this many, you get this for free, or you get this. That's where the spicy starts to come in, and that's the unofficial freeness. They've basically said, we're going to take a bike that can go 50 inches. That's the element of freeness. The fact that it costs no more or less than another bike is relevant. The fact that it can do something another bike can't do is where it got something for free. That movement. What do you calculate? Being able to do an assault move and being able to flat out that many inches, what do you calculate that as?
Yeah, where's that at? Yeah, furthermore, I would like to put this in perspective. Since that little jet bike can move faster than a flyer,
literally a supersonic jet.
Yeah, his little toughness 3 lungs couldn't hold the pressure of moving that fast. You know what I mean? That poor little guy would just grumble. It's let's be for real. But either way, so and it's happened for a while now. It's not just now. And you think about it, how many bourbons do you think this guy had whenever he's looking at his spreadsheet to say, oh, a monstrous creature, other monstrous creatures in comparison, this and this. I'm gonna just throw some names out there: a Wraith Knight, a Riptide.
Oh, here's a good example. A great unclean one.
A Trigon.
A great unclean one with level 3 psychic mastery and like 2 greater gifts is like the same points as a Wraith Knight.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He can't run. He only moves 6 inches. He can get instant killed by anything that does instant death. Like, doesn't have a stomp. Doesn't have any AD attacks.
All right, I've got something. A Trigon Prime, upgraded with the I can't even think of the name right now, but it allows you once per turn. You can either in the close combat phase, you can get +1 to your armor save, +1 toughness, +1 attack, something like that. That model with those setup is 315 points.
Garbage.
Get out of here! Like, we're not even in the same part. We're not even playing the same game. So.
Nope. I would like to see, if we're wish listing, I would like to see a transparent spreadsheet finally available to us to consume.
Yeah, but you want to know what? I do like the fact that there is some difference and stuff like that, because if not, you're basically, to be truly competitive, and we've talked about in this, is you would want all the pieces to be the exact same and everything, kind of like how chess is, but it isn't. So I'm okay with the progression of this army being really good, this being good. I just like to see it change.
I want to see the balance not be in, like, obviously chess is a great analogy because everyone talks about this game like chess is not, because chess is, there's no luck in chess. Chess is all the same. It's literally not the same thing. What I would like to see the balance would be is I want to see everyone get a spicy Wraith Knight like unit. If Eldar are getting Wraith Knights and Tower are getting Riptides, you tell me both these guys get incredible monstrous creatures in their army list, but Chaos doesn't have one. Grey Knights have one. Grey Knights have a great one.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Grey Knights have an amazing, like, for the points, decked out.
He's really good now.
Before he was overpointed, but now the new codex came out. A Nemesis Dread Knight, totally maxed out, is amazing for his points. Mm-hmm. I want to see everyone have one of those. I want to see a Space Marine one, a Chaos one, and make them spicy in their own unique ways. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I want to see, the balancer. I want to see everyone have access to incredible, intimidating rules, not just a few.
Yeah, well, I think it all comes down to some of the stuff we were talking about, like some things that might need a little bit more clarification that I think we should get to a little bit. But you've got different people working on different dexes on different time frames. So I feel like maybe sometimes some of that stuff kind of falls through the cracks depending on the actual writers and where they're at, and kind of the studio, where direction the studio is going at the same time. I can kind of see where some of that stuff happens. Obviously some of us aren't 100% happy with it, but at the end of the day, they put out a lot of stuff, and
they do.
We're pretty lucky to have a game as dynamic as it is.
No joke, we are 40K fanboys. We love this shit.
100%. But there is, like Robbie, and believe me, I'm diehard. I got tattooed on my arm, but there is some stuff that I would like to see, or some clarifications and things. And number one on my list of what I would like to see and different, and maybe what they can do is, man, let's bring back some FAQs. Don't be so arrogant that you think that your rules are so perfect the first time. Just hit us up with a quick update. You guys, you have intelligent people on your staff, or hey, you don't want to do it. GW, you can call Robbie B right now, and he will have FAQs weekly for GW to put out.
I definitely would have a lot to say about it.
So
literally, you could put us in charge of it. We'll handle it.
We got it.
No doubt. I mean, there's some people out there that have
send all the clown shoes people that want to complain about rules. Send them to us as well.
But I think the big one that people it confuses a lot of people is that Librarius Conclave. How it says they can't cast until the end of the phase, and some there's definitely two very distinct polarized groups. One says end of the phase means you can't do it, and then if you check the rule book and you follow along,
there's a lot of as a matter of fact, go back to a previous webcast. I think it's 3 webcasts ago. It's literally the title of the show. Where we break it down rules by rules, and we show you how it can easily be interpreted either way, and there's exactly as much information to have you interpret it this incredibly amazing way or this incredibly balanced way. That's just primary example, Rob. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think those kind of things is definitely something that maybe warrants an FAQ. Like, if you literally have polarized your people to completely two opposite camps, it's like the presidency. Like, you look at the presidencies, and it's like, generally it's like 50% for, 50% against, whatever, right? So, like, I feel like I feel like if people are so polarized.
Yeah, and we vote for one of those guys.
Yeah, so it's like.
I would love to vote for which one I want the Librarian's Conclave to be.
Yeah, exactly right.
You know which one I'm gonna pick.
So, and then of course it spills over to, of course, the Dark Angels have, the Librarius Conclave too, because they started it back in, December with the Advent calendar. So,
Yes.
So it's kind of double-edged.
Speaking of which, when we were at that tournament, Dean had that special edition Dark Angel Codex. How fresh was that with the Cypher data slate in there and everything? All classified?
Everything about that was so fresh, dude. Like, I spent a couple minutes checking that over. So I had a rules conundrum that happened today during Lucas's and I's game. And let me know what you guys think. So he's got the Calixtus Assassin, and one of the Calixtus Assassin's abilities is in while shooting. It says verbatim, while the attacker shoots or in close combat, any attacks directed toward the Calixtus Assassin are resolved at weapon skill 1. The attackers. Now, what does that mean? How does the Calixtus Assassin, because we now have the same weapon skill, my Hive Tyrant's initiative 8 or weapon skill 8.
No, he still has to hit you on his weapon skill.
Yeah, that's what immediately mine was like. At first gut shot, Lucas was saying, well, your weapon skill 1, so each on 3. I was like, nah, man, like,
no,
pretty
sure. Same wording as blind. Blind is the same wording. Like, if you blind somebody, they resolve their attacks against you if they're weapon skill.
It's weapon skill 1, but yeah, all right, perfect. Yeah, and then once we started going through, he completely agreed and whatever, but I just called, and so, I mean, it's just something that come up, and I wasn't used to it yet, so I'm never blinded. So, but...
No, it's definitely... Yeah, it's been happening since back in the day when, like, witches did the same thing with their whips or something in close combat, or their gladiator gear, like where they treated you as like a lower weapon skill, or you didn't treat them as any different.
Mm-hmm.
It's been happening since 3rd edition.
Word. When you stay in there and just shoot stuff.
Yeah, you forgot how assaults work. Stupid Hive Tyrants flying around shooting everything all the time.
Love it.
Speaking of stupid Hive Tyrants, how did you end up doing at that tournament?
I did good. I think I think I only did like 4th or something like that. I had a really bunk clitcher with Dean, and my Hierophant. He made me in the first round or the first and second turn, he made me take 10 saves, and I failed 10 2-up cover saves with Feel No Pain. Or 7 out of 10. So that put me on my heels a little bit. So, but it was good. I love playing my Hierophant, man. Like, oh my goodness.
That Hierophant is so beast, man. That's one of the coolest models. We have a battle report with the Hierophant.
Yep.
Versus the Khorne Demon Kid and the D-Thirsters. Very exciting. Don't forget to check that out on the YouTube channel. Super awesome. And I think Luke painted that.
Yep, he did. He actually, him and Josh, my roommates, got me that for Christmas. And actually, I think I'm going to try to show up to the event that Robbie B is DJing. And I might be having a Hierophant if it's legal.
Rob, is it legal?
That was a cliffhanger.
I think Forger was 01. 01. I'm not sure if it was super heavy. Oh no super heavies or gargantuans, because it's Nova open rules.
Word. Well, I'm not playing that, but I'm bringing it. And
Yeah,
I'm gonna threaten people with it.
Yeah, just leave it on your display board.
Yo, my reserves are here.
Yo, before we get much further in tonight's stylings, you guys notice anything different about me tonight?
Loving it. First off, you look like you've been working out.
Yeah, you've been working out.
No, I've been eating a lot of jelly donuts because I quit drinking for the whole month because of gout.
So that just shows what the power of this T-shirt has. Buy our new T-shirts. Get swole in a day.
Get swole in a day.
Oh, I need like 10 of those.
Yep, this is one of our first of our 3 prototype designs. This is our broken Aquila, Imperial Aquila, with the Heretic Jersey text on it. Obviously, super fresh in the world of the Long War, where we're holding it down as heretics. And we have a few more shirts coming out here really soon. But this will be on the Kickstarter and pre-orders and everything. And maybe you'll even see it this weekend if you come to the ATC.
Oh, that's a good point. I'm gonna get my shirt and work out at the ATC. Is that cool?
Yeah, I'll put it on juice. It looks so swole.
Hey, something somebody said on my YouTube channel here, and this, I know you played with this in the past, the Cerebrus launcher for Space Marines. It's strength 4 AP6 now. I think the AP is the same, but I don't think it was strength 4.
No, it was straight 2 blind. Does it still have blind?
Yeah, it's heavy 1, blind, large blast. So it actually
It
got
got
pretty,
better. It got way
yeah,
better.
it got better.
It got way better. No, I used to love that trick where you'd come in, blind them, jump in with the close combat scouts, and now those dudes are running into you, hitting you on 3s.
Yeah, exactly. That's huge tech right there. I mean, obviously the Dark Angels don't have it, but that's good to know for Space Marines because then you start thinking about stuff like that for real.
That is a big change. I didn't even catch that. Well, so I know we're talking about all this GW wishlist thing, but I think we'd be remiss if we didn't discuss at least what our army lists were for the ATC.
Oh yeah, hit them up. I'm actually curious what you guys are playing myself.
I'll start it off.
Please.
Yeah. So I've actually, you can check out photos and pictures on the Long War Facebook page. Scroll down and check it out. But I am running a NIDCAD with a NID High Fleet detachment. So that is a combined total of 5 Flying Hive Tyrants with Twin Link Devourers and Electroshock Grubs. That's the Haywire Flame templates. Then I'm also running 2 objective secured Termagant squads, 120 big, 123 big. I'm also running 2 Hive Crones, 3 Muculids that are the troop choices from the Hive Fleet detachment, and a Sky Shield landing pad with a Venom Throat.
And I saw a picture online where you fit them all on the Sky Shield.
Literally, they all fit on the Sky Shield.
Oh, it's like a display board built in.
Yep.
Also means like they all have 4+ multiples to start the game.
And 2 upcover saves. So
yeah, I mean, depending on the angles.
yeah, for sure. But no, I'm very, very pleased. They all fit. It looks so fresh and perfect. Go check it out. I've actually decided in the Beats Laboratory, Lucas and I were going back and forth. I got Sean Brown on the phone, the CEO, and so basically made a decision that with all the NID models and everything I have, High Fleet Lexus is going to go Splinter Cell. All the carapaces are going to stay my royal blue that I love, my electric blue, but all my skin tones are going to be different color depending on what formation that thing's going to be attached to. So, for example, I'll never have more than 2 Hive Tyrants for my CADs. So all those bugs are painted the exact same. Well, now this Hive Fleet detachment, all the carapaces are the same, but they have a completely dark brown wing color compared to everything else, and we've already got a very cool scheme for some aliens-themed list with a bunch of Ravengers and Hormagaunts and maybe a Demasteron or 2. Spoiler alert! So can't wait for that to hit the interwebs.
I'm stoked to see that.
How many strength 6 shots Twin Link per turn do you have?
So it works out to be 62. Or excuse me, 60.
How many?
60.
So 60 straight. Oh, wait, pretty much. And with all your high weapon skill Twin Link, that's basically like 50 hits a turn.
Yeah, for sure. If you're not, I mean, like
Definitely
toughness 5 or better. Like if you're 2 or toughness 3 to 4, like just donezo. Like you just better know. It's like to be honest, it's like shooting 5 wave serpents. Except I don't have the ignore cover and this, but
you get to get to the back armor. You get to move around. Super
I hit all the different sides. I actually blew Luke's mind because like a lot of people, and even myself, whenever I've got Legion of the Damned or I've got Biovores, excuse me. The Hive Crone I've noticed is less and less relevant in my list, but now that I don't have either one of those 2 as backup, that Strength 6 Drool Cannon with AP 4 is so clutch.
No, and also just the fact that you can keep your entire army in the air. And I noticed that when you play your NIDs, you love the people you sacrifice to the Hive Crones because they suck.
Yeah, for sure.
They don't matter to your game plan like very much. So they're the guys that you land to score an objective in a progressive mode. Like I've seen you do it 100 times.
Yeah,
so like
100 times. Like, yep. And I'm very because I have 7 flying MCs. Guys are coming in and off the board the entire game.
Yep.
I'm
Audi 5000 back on the board. Yep.
Yep. And then so some people are like, oh man, they immediately look at it, man, you don't have enough snaps. Your little 40 guys are going to run off the board. I'm like, I'm literally 1 turn away from flying off, and before these guys even have to make a check, I've already filtered another hive tyrant back to my backfield 80 inches away, or however many inches away, and I catch them because I'm the owning player. I get to choose what happens when it says at the beginning of the turn.
Yeah, and you also have your silly hairwire missiles on those guys still. So like you're basically I've seen you do it 100 times. Like you will crush a 5-Night Titan list, a 3-Night Titan list, just destroy it with all that haywire. I mean, I've seen you do it. It's just so crazy. Threat all the angles, man. So you have a really strong list that like not a lot of people can play against.
No, it actually, and that's another reason why. Obviously, 7 Flying MCs hasn't won big events. They haven't. I think it has the ability to, but it's
it obviously has weaknesses when you get into the championship rounds of a multi-objective event.
Correct.
Because that's where when you get into the championship rounds, and this is like, disclaimer to everyone watching, we are talking about the most competitive play now. We're no longer talking about the, bringing hobby back in the basement right now. We're talking about going to the American Team Championships and finding out, in the very American sense of the word, whose balls are the biggest.
Yeah, who's been spending the most time in the Beats Laboratory?
Yes, and
who's not prepared? Who's prepared not to back down? Like,
yep. And this is a way. This is bringing, and this, like, before you demonize it, anyone, this is how some people bring hobby. This is what the hobby means to some people, which is why the longwar.net has hobbying with Rob Bear, painting with Kenny Boucher, and of course wargaming with Juice, because all of these elements, in all the ways you could possibly perceive them, are the hobby. This is one of them. And this list, is that. That's what we're talking about.
It's a really good. NIDs are really good at ATC because of the fact that when you think that you can bring the 5 best lists ever, you immediately think that you're going to game against these 5 lists. Well, a lot of times they're kind of a wild card. So when people are preparing their list, they don't make the cut to worry about.
And they also always say, "Oh, well, I'll just avoid it because of the matchup system." Like when Rob knows firsthand how hard that is sometimes. I think like last year we put Rob in a position to always be like, "This is where you go, Rob," and Rob is like prepared for that. But then guess what happens? You get outmatched up, right? And then so our opponents, like, they do the same to us. They're trying as hard as we are. I mean,
yeah, man, I'm so glad you brought up the matchup game. Like, that is literally something I do in my head, and I did it a lot with the boys from Fayetteville and great friends Brian Delgado and Mike McCaffrey and all of them. But we would basically write down teams' names and, like, say, I'm going to put this person down. All right, what are you going to counter with? And go back and forth and just kind of theory hammer for a second just to figure out whether or not you got the matchup you wanted or we got the matchup we wanted. And that's, dude, you get caught with your pants down with a bad matchup at ATC, and, there goes your round for that turn.
Yeah, I mean, for realsies, I want to applaud Rob because last year I think Rob was at least our second point scorer, if not our number 1 guy.
I did okay. I did issue last year.
No, he had to do that with us getting outmatched all the time. People were always beating us down on the matchup game because we have a bad habit of like middle ride.
Just let it roll.
I hope that next year we'll be a little bit more prepared. Now this year a lot of stuff's going down, with us personally and all sorts of things. But yeah. I definitely look forward to hopefully a little bit more stability in the 40K world so we can work on our list a little bit more. I feel than this year.
It's been impossible to prepare, especially for Rob. Rob is like, I mean, people at home don't know, like his job, I mean, the Long War, I mean, is...
it's not just the Long War, but that's okay.
He's plugged in to the Long War, whatever his job is. He's always plugged into the Long War.
I try to keep an eye on everything, that's for sure.
24 hours a day, man. Like, it's crazy. And
I've learned to sleep 5 to 6 hours.
That's your system, and I've been sending Rob cat memes all day.
Kenny's trying to make up. It's okay.
I sent him 9 cat memes today.
I saved them all for future use.
But I guess
so Kenny,
what I'm playing my classic Super Friends. Don't worry, I don't have the +1 Funeral of Pain chapter master, which is legal at the ATC, having a 1+ Funeral Pain roll.
They actually did just FAQ that, send an email out saying that it cannot be better than.
Oh my goodness! Because I also went on the FAQ and it was like, please tell me that my Thunderwolves has Strength 10 Power Fist, or I literally can't interact with that. So that's good news that they finally made the right call. even though rules is written, it's legal to have a 1+ armor funeral paint save. You should not. That is pretty much universally accepted that's a bad thing for the hobby. So I'm playing the Classic Super Friends with Khan and the Chapter Master and the Command Squad. As always, you've seen me play it a dozen times. I've got grav guns and storm shields in my Command Squad. I've got my 3 Iron Priests and my Cyber Wolves that are attached to it with the Wolf Priest. Since it's only 2 sources, and I don't get to do my Codex AM stuff and my Priests and all my Waverums, I just went harder with my tacticals. Now I have 20 Tactical Marines and Rhinos, which makes me super happy. I always feel so much stronger when I can outflank 20 Tactical Marines.
I think that's such a true statement. We actually tossed last week saying literally every list that you could think of gets better if they just arbitrarily or just randomly have 3 drop pods.
Oh yeah,
you just never know when you need them.
I remember this one time you and I were getting ready to play each other, and you were looking at my army, my Super Friends army you played against a dozen times, and you were 5-man squads in the Rhinos? I was like, nah, man, it's two 10-man squads. You were like, I hate that.
So no, it is for real.
Here's the final addition. Back to the Stalkers. Remember we used to run 2 Stalkers in every list?
Yep.
And now I'm running a unit of 3 Stalkers. Because the Stalker got good. At first I dismissed the Stalker because I was I went down to 3 shots, blah, 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 same points. Well, it did go down to 3 points. To 3 shots. But when it does its auto fire, its split fire, it doesn't drop down in ballista skill. It stays at BS4. It just loses twin links. And further to that, if you put a unit of 3 of them together, they gain ignore cover. And here's the final thing that a Stalker got that it didn't used to have, Rob. Intercept.
Yep.
So wait a second, you're telling me the Stalkers now, they went down to 3 shots, but they are ignore cover?
If you have 3 of them in one unit, you have ignore cover.
Yeah.
Twin link or interceptor?
Yeah, so they gained intercept naturally. So basically, let me put it this way. So let's say my Stalkers are chilling off in the cut, and your 2 Hive Crones flying out of reserves. I kill them both. Because I can shoot 9 ignore cover shots at this one and 9 ignore cover shots at that one.
At full bullet skill.
Full bullet skill.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, Bob, but I've heard that that doesn't suck.
That's good, right?
Yeah, they definitely got an upgrade, and that's kind of the stuff that people don't notice. These little things actually really creep up the power level on them. I feel right? Because they do well against Eldar stuff. They do well against flying Hive Tyrants. Not necessarily against Mechanicus. But
they can actually kill a Wave Serpent finally. I used to be never shoot a Stalker and a Wave Serpent. It's the stupidest thing ever. And now I'm word, I'll shoot them all day if they got ignore cover.
I don't really see a whole lot of Wave Serpents. I think we're going to see more Jetbike problems now. But still, yes, it's good to see. I feel right?
But no, it's still going to be just as clutch. You don't want Eldar Jetbikes getting 2 of cover saves. You don't want basically anything with ignore cover. It doesn't matter what their AP is because there's enough stuff in the game right now
that modifies it.
That modifies.
Nurgle Flying Demon Princes don't want to deal with that.
No.
Mm-hmm. They don't want any part of that, man. They only have 4 wounds, man. They're not trying to have you manipulate their 2 of cover save.
Nah, for sure. It's again same thing with my Hive Tyrants. I'm chilling with my Shroud and I got 2 of covers when I'm jinking and stuff.
You feel really comfortable, so I'm make 8 armor saves every time.
That are 3 up.
Yeah.
And it's and now my 1 Hive Tyrant is basically probably how many points is this squad?
It's 225.
So you're literally still cheaper than
yes, 225, 9 hull points, armor 12 on the front and armor 12 on the side. Stalkers.
12 armor side is so clutch.
And what's good about it is now that they're in a unit with that split fire rule too, that auto fire rule, in the kill point missions, it's only 1 kill point. So before I was running 2 Stalkers with 2 kill points. This is 3 Stalkers, it's 1 kill point.
And now the footprint that thing has, you can only take 1 objective, but you can power slide and shake and bake, and next thing you know, yes, I can take this Emperor's Will objective in the bag because there's nothing else around, but then I can slinky myself out 16-inch or 12 inches or even more, to contest another objective.
Man, no lie, it's a fun unit. I'm looking forward to playing it. Looking forward to seeing everybody, and also. The ATC is having a meet and greet. I think it's on Friday night. I think it's around 7 p.m. Rob, do you have any intel on that?
I don't. I can look it up on the internet right now. I'm sure Shane has said something about it already.
Yeah, I think it's on the main event page, but whatever it is, whatever time it is, I know it's Friday night. It'll probably be at the Best Western if I have to guess.
It was last year, yeah.
Yes, we had a lot of fun there. I remember saying the F word a lot. It was wasted.
We might have had a lot of adult beverages.
Who is this moderation, and why do I have to drink with him?
I feel like I got a meme about that.
Yep, I said that was a cat meme. Imagine me as a cat saying that. And so we're going to be running a Long War meet and greet. So if you want to like do a meet and greet with us, and you're going to the ATC, go to the ATC meet and greet as the officially designated on the website, wherever it is at whatever time. We will be there, and we'll be running an after-hours meet and greet in our hotel room at that same hotel.
AKA pants party.
Yes. Party with the pants.
Holiday Inn Express East Ridge. No, wait. Best Western.
Best Western? That's where we're staying, is the Best Western, right?
Yes.
So we would just tell you to come to our hotel room, but we don't know what our hotel room is yet. So
I'm sure we'll post it up, though.
We'll Twitter, we'll Instagram it, we'll Facebook it, everything.
Yo, hit us up on our messages. You can't find us. Dog, literally, if you guys, I've always say, Clay Cruz found this out this weekend, everybody else, like, yo, we talk about it, we just don't talk. We put our actions into words, our words into actions. And, yo, you come to ATC and it's only your team and that's only 5 people you know in the room, you now know 3 other dudes. They're chilling right here. Come up, talk to us. You know, come chill back in the hotel room. Let's have some drinks, talk. You know, it is absolutely... Don't feel shy at all. Come out and say hello. So, Coach, family at Gamers, man, great to see you in here tonight. And Coach, of course, it would be cool if you could get a little self-promotion. Family at Gamers 777 is having a subscriber giveaway. Check out the link, which is in the Q&A right here. Try to win some prizes.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I saw they posted up a video. I tried to share it on my Google Plus, but yeah, I'll try to throw that up on all our stuff, Coach.
What do you mean? What do you mean you tried?
I hit +1. I don't know. Google Plus.
Are you confused by its computers? Because I could just put you in contact with Juice, who's over.
Yeah, for real. Don't worry. Siri, fix Robbie B's problem. Got it. My people are on it. So, Evan, going back to the conclave, he needs some clarification. So, this is his thoughts. So, with the conclave, at the end of the psychic phase, what about page 24 BRB? In quotations, the phase only ends when you have 0 warp charges, cannot cast a power, or choose not to cast. When this phase ends, all warp charges are lost. Seems like you can't ever.
Rob, do you have that line handy that counters that? Because there's a counter to this. There's an absolute counter to this. There is language in the main rulebook that says things tell you that actions are, started at this point in the phase or at this point in the phase, and in some cases at the end of the phase.
Yeah. Hold on a second. I think it's page 18. Let me
there's some compelling stuff in it.
Yeah, I mean, I would also like to furthermore say, just like coming off clutch or come shooting from the hip here, the phase isn't over until you move to the shooting phase. So at the end of the phase is the last thing that you do before you just, get rid of all your warp charges and everything else. So it's just kind of like the verbiage of at the beginning of the phase.
So here's the deal. So the start and end of phase. During your game, you may encounter rules that say an action or event happens at the start of a particular phase, such as at the start of your movement phase or at the start of your shooting phase. These are always resolved before anything else in that phase. So likewise, any rule that says an action or event happens at the end of a particular phase is always resolved after all other actions have been performed during that phase, before the next phase, if any, starts. So you kind of have this unique thing with this conclave, because your main caster that's siphoning off and doing a 2-up has to do it before the other guys, which can do it at the end.
But the wording is like they can perform no action until the end of the phase.
Yeah, here's the.
No, sorry. It says they cannot cast a psychic power until the end of the phase. Right? That's what it says. So everyone is. So people are like, that means you can't cast this turn, and we're like, well, this language says you will encounter language that says
that'll do that.
Cannot cast.
Yeah, you as the owning player gets to choose what happens at the end of the phase when you have multiples.
Yep.
We have a whole webcast that we break it down, because it's compelling as that is, that like what we just said is like, it almost is like, oh, obviously you can do it. There's more to it. There's actually absolutely more to it. It doesn't actually explicitly give you permission to do it. It says they cannot do something until. It doesn't say they can do. Yeah. So there's in a permission rule set, you have to really think about intentions. And so but there is exactly as much ways to argue it either way, which is exactly what we're talking about with this GW wish list. I wish GW would learn how to write things clearly. There is no reason for that language, Rob. Why can't they just say something simpler? Why can't they just say, these dudes can't cast this turn, booyah?
Or they make sure that that guy casts first, and then not put in that confusing part.
Any other psychers attempting to cast in the formation must do so after this guy.
Yeah, that's actually.
Or if this guy wants to do this special thing, nobody else can cast. Like, come on, man.
Right.
And you want to know what? Nobody can say that they get it first, that they're going to get it right. But just follow up with an FAQ and drop a line like you used to more prevalently.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of where they're dropping off. You know, there's about 5 good solid things, you know, and just to run down the topics, you know, you've got that one that we talked about. Then you've got the Skyhammer formation that I feel like, you know, people want to add HQs and independent characters to that and still assault out of landing, which rules is written, you may not be able to. We broke that down on here a little bit, and also on.
Yes, but you still have to. Yes, you have to go. You have to like read 6 pages of reference to.
It took a lot to get to that point, and you know, even bigger perhaps is the whole just denying the witch in general is poorly worded.
Yes,
you know, there's
what's that Eldar war gear that everyone's on about?
Yeah, so there's that one that lets you just do it, and then you can get super silly and be like, well, Karn just denies everything on a 2-up.
Yeah, because all the Eldar players say, no, I get to use my warp chart, I get to use my psychic level when denying the witch at all times because this thing says I get to. And it's like, no, you don't get to do that because when you deny the witch, it's only when you're the target. But it does say you get to pick a model, this, and this. It's like, so if you go, that's a logic loop. And if you go into that, then by that same wording, Karn the Betrayer will deny the witch on a 2-up for your whole army. So I'm just going to start taking Karn the Betrayer as a desperate ally in every army, so you never get to cast a second power. I mean, come on, man. Rules is written versus rules is intended. You need to start really thinking about things. So we need an FAQ. Sorry, Rob. I'm passionate about Karn the Betrayer. Continue.
No, I know. I love Karn too. Don't even get me started about Karn. You know, and then we got the digital versus the paper. You know, with the whole thing about
GW FAQ that you saw that.
Well, now.
Is that FAQ? What is that? What was that?
That's where and see that. It blew my mind when I thought that was solved, but like people are like, well, why did Black Library isn't GW? And because Black Library said what the intentions were, and Black Library does the digital part.
They made the mistake.
Right. So Black Library does the digital part. GW Studio, I guess, does the paper. And then people are like, well, it doesn't matter because it's Black Library, and I'm like, I don't even know where to go with that. Like, it just blows my mind. Like, somebody says they made a mistake.
The closest thing to an official FAQ as possible. Black Library made the printed version is different than the digital version. The people who manufactured the digital version are saying we wrote it the wrong way. It's not them wrote it the wrong way.
Which like I'm not faulting anybody. Like, I don't want to be like, yo, GW, you're stupid. No, like, there is a lot of moving parts here. Like, me and Kenny, we know about laying out graphics, laying out books, laying out videos. Like, that stuff is super time intensive, and it only takes one little thing that gets overlooked for people to really start having an issue with. And it's very unfortunate, but that's why I write these articles, and that's why I feel like...
Oh, man, you know how many times we misspell something, and Rob will call me and be like, yo, we got to do that again. I got to pull down off the internet, retype it, do this. It takes hours for the RSV to pick it all back up again, and that's just 2 guys doing a network that's this small.
Yeah.
Why do you think I don't bake and I just cook? When I'm cooking, if I burn something, I can immediately fix it, call it smoked or call it, this or this. Bacon... You add one little pinch, you do this, like literally you just wasted 5 hours, dog. Start again.
Yeah, baking is rough. Yeah.
Yep. No, I agree. And I think there's some of that stuff out there. The whole denying witch thing. Then we had the whole Demonkin thing with when you summon bloodthirsters in.
Because Demonkin has a different wording than demonic summoning.
Right.
When you bring in units from the Demonkin, it happens at the start of the turn. And you, by rules, get to pick what happens first. So you can absolutely change the flight mode by this interpretation of a Bloodthirster. Dropping in, beginning of the turn, I'll say which happens first. I'm saying the Demonkin summoning happens first. He's in. Now the movement phase. He changes flight modes. And that obviously comes down to, as a disallowed action, is still an action. So there's a lot of like weird rulings, right? I believe in my heart of hearts that the intention and the wording should support Demonkin models being able to change their flight modes and being able to charge the turn they come in, if it's possible. Like, You can change your flight mode for some bloodthirst. That doesn't mean you can charge. But I definitely believe if you bring in, a unit of 5 flesh hounds, they should be able to assault because they are not entering the play by the same rules. But it doesn't say that anywhere, and it's a bunch of read between the lines crap.
Yep, and so what has to happen is that we're left with these TOs and event organizers have to come up with their own, and then some people get salty because it didn't go one way or the other, and it's a third party. So yeah, GW, just do us all a favor. So hitting up this Q&A real quick before we get done. It's filling up. We got Clay Cruz want to know. So do you guys think, Tau player by the way, do you guys think that he should run Markalife spam at this point in the game?
I just want to introduce Robbie B because Rob has proven that he knows things about Tau and we don't know anything. Rob, please take the floor.
I do know a little bit about Scrawny Xenos. I think Markalites are great. They ignore cover. They help you get that advantage because there's so much stuff out there with stealth and shrouded.
I like them. I would say I like them because I hate seeing them when I'm playing my stuff.
Yeah, Markalites. I don't necessarily need to know if you spam is the word, but yeah, I mean you should have 2 or 3 squad. I mean you should have probably 10 or 12, 14 Markalites.
What did you run when you were playing Tau in your Eldar?
Well, that was 6th edition, so I was just doing the standard thing.
Broadside, like broadside buff commander, Riptide.
Yeah, basically. And I feel like right now, we're looking at a change. So it's very hard to try to figure out what to take. Though I do think they have a lot of potential, and we're going to see some really good stuff from them. And don't underestimate the Tau right now.
No, for sure. Like Tau are always a thing. And when they come out with their new book, I think they're going to come with a thunder. Coach wants to know: is there ever a situation where I would take a shooting weapon on a Necron Wraith?
I think it.
If you wanted to play, if you were playing balanced in the basement, you just had for funsies. But I think most people spam Wraiths, and that takes away from the spam.
Yeah, there's a weapon they have. I think it's like Strength 8 AP 1 shot. It's really tempting, but I think like Kenny said, like if you're going competitive, you don't want to do that.
It's like the rule of the rule of thumb for competitive play is find the thing you like the most and take 3 of them. Like 3 units of them. So you don't have points for that stuff when you're doing that.
So Lamont came back to let us know that he is actually painting the tactical squad tonight. Had to take a break and help his son with some of his Ultramarines and Grey Knights. So yeah, that's good. I'm glad to hear that your son plays as well.
2 generations of gaming.
Yo, I love it. So is your son a Calgar fan, or is he a Tiggy fan, or both?
He's not going to respond to us.
He might get to us here in a minute.
Might need a minute.
I want to go down the pipe dream. This is the pipe dream segment of the show where I want to talk
the old Robbie B pipe dream.
I want to talk a little bit about hobbying because I don't get to hobby as much anymore. And Kenny's got the same problem. Like we have to sneak in our stuff with commissions in order to get it done. And we got Perturabo coming out. He's the Iron Warriors Primarch, so of course I'm going to pick him up.
In case anyone didn't notice, the caricature likeness of Rob Bear that you see floating around on our channels, like that artwork, he is an Iron Warrior. He is drawn as an Iron Warrior.
I am an Iron Warrior.
Yeah.
If you look at the description of how the Iron Warriors actually are, it like fits me to a T. It's like I couldn't have picked a better chapter to emulate to represent.
They're all fair-skinned with cats.
Well, yes. Did you notice that he has a cat icon on his shoulder?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, Thomas made that, and he's like, "What do you think?" And I was like, "I only have one small change." I was like, "I need to be the chapter master of the cats." And he's like, "What?" And I was like, "Just put a cat on the shoulder."
Iron cats, of course. Iron within, iron without. No, that's one of your best armies I've ever seen you do is your original Iron Warriors army that you put the real hobby love into. And I got an opportunity to play with those models. They're metal Chaos Space Marines with magnetized weapons, the old Vindicator. I mean, dude, you are an Iron Warrior, and I'm so happy for you to finally get Perturabo on the scene.
Oh, yeah. That model looks great, and I can't wait to get him in my little 40K fat kid hands. But my paws. He's got a really interesting rule where he gets to take a transport, his Shadow Sword, his command Shadow Sword, which of course has a Void Shield, because why not? So I was like, man, I really want this Falchion from Forge World. It's like $250. just not really happening right now. I got a lot going on. So I remembered the late great Sheryl Crow. She has an interesting line that I think we can all apply to our hobby.
This is going to be good. Please.
It's not about having what you want. It's about wanting what you got. So before you go out and spend a bunch of money on new shinies, look around and see what you can do with the stuff you had. And I did. I looked around and I had this really great Baneblade right here. This is the World Ender multiple launch system from.
First off, that's not a real model. You made that shit up.
I did. This is actually a resin cast from Blood and Skulls Industries, and it's all magnetized and it's like Apocalypse. But what's even cooler is that it is a shadow sword. You can make it into a shadow sword. But what's even better is that Blood and Skulls Industries also sells an upgrade kit that I have. It's buried somewhere, but it's only like $20, $20 or $30, and it's a fell blade turret. So I can make this cool thing. I can have my command tank, my shadow sword, and I can have this cool Iron Warriors like crazy multiple launch rocket system. I can have like 3 tanks that I already have. I could just spend $20, $30 getting an upgrade kit instead of $250 from Forge World, and probably actually get it done.
Now I'm just looking at that missile system that is on that. That looks like the weapon profile should be like 2 strength 8 AP5 missiles, and then like 1 strength 9 AP3. Is that about what it shoots?
It's I think it shoots the big yeah. It shoots all the missiles.
Yeah.
4 strength 5 small blasts.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and then 1 apocalyptic always wounds on a 4-up.
Calls the blinding checks.
Yeah.
D weapon, of course.
I think that's what it is.
Yo, it looks like a G.I. Joe toy from the 90s, though.
It does. It does. I love that thing. I can't wait to get some paint on it, sneak it in with some commissions here in the future.
I love it. Yo, Lamont was able to check back in with us before we had to let it go and said Calgar all day long.
All day, every day.
It turns out he's the original. He's not the Lord of War. He's the God of War.
Yeah, he is the truest of pimps.
Yeah. So we didn't touch. I want to talk about Rusty real quick. I think Rusty's heading down. Might be moving down south, closer to us too here soon.
But, awesome.
He was talking about the Retribution spray. That's kind of sad to hear because I know that thing's pretty pricey. I don't know if Army Painter has a gold spray, but I know Duplicoat has a gold, and I think Home Depot or
literally Home Depot gold spray. I use it on a lot of things. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
It does a good job. like that macro cannon in the Apocalypse Battle Report that's up in the Hall of Veterans right now. I painted all the gold in that macro cannon with a Home Depot gold spray paint.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. Like,
no.
Don't spend $25 on a can that apparently it isn't a good performer.
Just gotta be careful if you're down in the South, man. Don't be messing around with spray painting your models and leaving them outside for an hour to dry.
Yeah, that humidity.
It will ruin it. Spray them and get them inside quick. Like, gots to.
If you got a bathroom, you can throw them in and turn the fan on. You're still gonna smell something, but
you're just gonna have to man up.
Get hot.
And get hot.
Yeah.
Look, you say, Mom, stay out of the bathroom. I'm playing with my toys.
That's right. And I know we're trying to go, but you guys are telling me these stories, and I just know that everybody out there is going to love this. So, John Brock, you might have heard his name. He is the TO down at Hit Point Hobbies. But so Brock was doing me a big solid about 4 years ago. I was going to the finals at Our Boys, and he was like, man, let me pay some of your stuff because obviously, my painting skills weren't up to the bar. So he's like, let me touch up some of your models. Let me do this, And I was like, oh, man, that'd be amazing. Thank you, Brock. So next thing I know, he's got my 10-man Terminator squad of Blood Angels. He's got them all fresh, done all the iconography, everything all over and looking good. He said he goes outside and it's nighttime. He's like, let me just throw this clear coat on top of them real quick so they don't chip. Goes in, clear coats the crap out of them in the dark, comes back inside, and I've got 9 brown Terminators.
I've done it before.
Color.
Oh man, he was like, he thought it was the can. It was the the little silver can that's got half the label torn off, and he's like, no, it had to have been it. And but he called me, and it was. I wish I could have recorded that conversation because it was hilarious.
Oh man, that and
literally, Brock's like, I have some bad news. I thought I cleared them. They're brown. I immediately was like, yo, dog, players fuck up. So.
I think we've all been a victim of that one, and you know, we got some tech as far as frosting goes. You know, always try that lusterless model masters.
Oh yeah, frosting. Yeah, frosting is there's a way to get it off. If, like, you frosted your models. Testers and model masters, lusterless flat. Actually, I like to go with their semi-gloss first. That's like, you go with their semi-gloss. This is a great. I mean, you buy them at Hobbytown USA's. It will totally undo that frost, that dusting. And then once that dries, then you can hit it back with the lusterless flat and bring it back down to the level you want. That is like an ace trick. I've done it dozens of times. Rob swears by it now. As a matter of fact, I don't use any varnishes that are not Testers brand anymore. It's the official seal coat of the South, basically.
Yeah, it's pretty much the only way to be sure. I mean, I just seal coated all those drop pods right there today, and it was like 80 degrees out, super humid. It was fine.
It's the only way to be sure. Nuke the planet from orbit.
Nuke the planet from orbit. All right. Well, I think we hit on everything. There's a little something in here about some internet dramas. All that's posted up on the internet. It's all public record. There's no vast conspiracy. Don't worry about any of that. But as far as that goes, this isn't a forum for all that. So I think that's about it for this one, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure you head on over to thelongwar.net. That's the home of the battle reports for exclusive content and early access videos. Become a veteran of the Long War today. Good night, everybody.